In the earlier part, we have seen about the Peninsular Plateau. That was the third physiographic division of the India. Now we'll move toward the further physiographic division of the India, the Indian desert. This is also very remarkable part of the India. About this division, we are going to study in this part. The Indian desert is having sandy. Not only sandy, it is a dry region, scarcity of water, scarcity of vegetation, then also the dense life. It is not like the plain region, but if compared to other desert, the Indian desert is having dense population. Why it is so? It is lying on the path of the trading region. That is why somehow the population we will see. In this map you are looking this part. This is the Indian desert. This is called Thar desert also. This is lying toward the west of the country. So about this region we will study in this part. The Indian desert lies toward the western margin of the Aravalli Hills. This is the western toward the Aravalli Hills. In the earlier part, I have shown you the Aravalli Hills. These are the Aravalli Hills. It is lying toward the west of the Aravalli Hills. This is the great Indian desert you are looking in the map. Same map you can look in your book also to understand. This is the same map used in PPT also for explanation, because you are very familiar with the same figure, same map. This is the same used here. So the great Indian desert lying toward the west of the Aravalli range. This is the location of the Indian desert. It is an undulating sandy plains. Undulating means not continuous, breaking. The sandy ranges are here, sandy plain is here, which is not having continuous. Breakings are here in this part. Covered with the sand dunes, because this region is the this region is having dry. That is why the wind is working more. Where wind is working more, the erosion, transportation and deposition, wind works more in this region. Due to this, due to these activities, we are looking sandy dunes here. Sandy dunes, sandy hills. These kind of hills you will look in this region. This is one example given, Barkhan dunes. Barkhan dunes means it's look like a crescent moon. That is why these are called Barkhans. Barkhan, this is the term used for the crescent moon in the Arabic. That is why this same name is given to like these dunes, like these hills. So in this example, you will understand the undulating sandy plains covered with the sand dunes towards the western margin of the Aravalli Hills in the Indian desert. Crescent-shaped dunes called barkhans because crescent moon it is, and crescent moon in Arabic called barkhan. That is why the name barkhan is used for these dunes. Barkhans covered large part of the dunes. In this region, only one river is having or can be marked, the Luni. Luni is the only larger river in this region. This region is this river is also not merging toward the any sea. It disappear meanwhile in between only, because there is no more water support to this river. That is why this river disappears in the sandy region only. Luni is the only river in this part. About the Indian desert, this much part only we will study. One remarkable thing is here, this part of the India is not getting more water. How could it not getting more water? Because there is no any obstacle for the monsoon wind. The monsoon for monsoon wind, the obstacles are needing. But in this region, there is no any obstacle. One Aravalli range is here we are looking. But this is also parallel to the monsoon wind. That is why there is no more rainfall, or the rainfall is a very less. Again, one monsoon flow comes from the eastern part also. For that, this is also lying toward the far from that flow. Whenever the monsoon winds are reaching in this region, it gets dry. That is why in this region we are getting less rainfall, and due to less rainfall, less water, and due to high temperature, high evaporation is there. So all these things are responsible to make this region hot and dry. I hope you people are understanding about the Indian desert. If you have any doubt, you can ask me later on. The coastal plains. In the Peninsular Plateau, we have studied there are two ghats are there, Western Ghat and the Eastern Ghat. Along with that ghats, the coastal plains are also which are in between Arabian Sea and the Western Ghat, one, and toward the east, Eastern is in between Eastern Ghat and the Bay of Bengal. About these both coastal plain, we are going to see in this part. This is the map you are looking. With the black line, the plains are shown. This is the western coastal plain. This is the eastern coastal plain. With this mark, you will understand, you will get the western plain is too narrow than the eastern plain, because there is no more place in between Western Ghat and the Arabian Sea. First, we'll see about the western coastal plain, then we'll turn toward the eastern coastal plain. The Peninsular Plateau is flanked by a stretch of narrow coastal strips running along the Arabian Sea and the west and the Bay of Bengal in the east. The western coast, sandwiched between Western Ghat and the Arabian Sea, is a narrow plain. This is the western plain, which is sandwiched, means one side Western Ghat and another side Arabian Sea. In between, this is sandwiched. भूक लागली असेल, खाऊन बसला असला तर बरंच होईल, नाहीतर भुके तोंडाला पाणी सुटेल आणखी. Sandwiched between Western Ghat and the Arabian Sea. It consists of three sections. This is having three sections. In a three section, it is divided. The western coast is divided in a three sections. First one, in the northern part of the coastal is called Konkan. In Maharashtra also it is called the Konkan. This part is called Konkan coast. Then the central stretch is called Kannada plain. So Karnatakaचा भाग आहे. It is not shown in this map, but the part of Karnataka, this is called Kannada plain. Then toward the south, this is called Malabar coast. This is shown here. This is called Malabar coast. So the western coast is divided in three parts. First of all, understand the western coast is lying in between Arabian Sea and the Western Ghat. This is a very narrow strip in between of the Western Ghat and the Arabian Sea. This western coastal plain is divided in three parts. First north, then middle, and toward the south. The northern coastal plain is called Konkan. In Maharashtra, it is called Konkan. So you are very familiar with this term. Then in the Karnataka, or in the central part, this is called Kannada. And to the south, this is called Malabar coast. This is enough all about the western coastal plain. Understand? Now we'll turn toward the eastern coastal plain. This is the eastern coastal plain, which is lying in between Western Ghat and the Bay of Bengal. The marking of this region is at the west the Eastern Ghat, and toward the east, Bay of Bengal. If we will look in the map, the Western plain is the narrow, but here the Eastern plain is the wider. This is a wider. It referred as the Northern Sichar. It is again divided north and the south. The northern part is called Northern Sirkars. This is with the blue line it is shown. This part is shown as the Northern Sirkar. Sirkar means the coastal region, and toward the south it is called Coromandel Coast. This part is called Coromandel Coast. The names are given here. This is Coromandel Coast. This is Northern Sirkar. The western coast is divided in a three part, but the eastern coast is divided only in the two part, Northern Sirkars and the Coromandel Coast. These are the two divisions of this part. Large rivers such as Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna and the Kaveri have formed extensive deltas on this plain. The rivers which flows from the Peninsular Plateau, from the Deccan Plateau, Mahanadi River, Godavari River, Krishna, Kaveri, Godavari, these formed the deltas here toward the eastern plains. Delta, the triangular plain which is formed due to the river deposition. Again, one important thing is here, the Chilka Lake. The Chilka Lake is the largest salty lake of the India. Here you are looking at the coast, the Chilka Lake, and next is the Pulikat Lake. These are the part of the eastern coastal plain. This is all about the both coastal plains we have studied with the help of this map. With the PPT, you can understand this one. Read the textbook again, you will understand this part is very easy. Now we'll immediately move toward the last physiographic division of the country, the islands. It is about the coastal plain. The information all it is given, you can read it. The narrow coastal strips thanks to the Peninsular Plateau. On the west, the Konkan, Kannada, and the Malabar coast. From north to south it's are. And the eastern coastal strip is divided into two parts, that is the Northern Sirkars and the Coromandel coast. These all things we have studied about the coastal plains. Now the islands. Till here we have understand about the mainland of the country. Now the part, some islands which are lying in the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal, they are also physiographic part of the India. So about that islands we are going to study. You have already seen that India has a vast mainland. Beside this, the country has also two groups of island. About these two groups we are going to study. These are the two groups, Andaman Nicobar Islands and the Lakshadweep. The Andaman Nicobar Islands are lying in the Bay of Bengal. These are the Andaman Nicobar Islands. We are looking on the map. And these are the Lakshadweep Islands. Already I have said you, take the outline map of the India, and in that same map, you will locate these both islands. Look at the Lakshadweep Islands groups lying close to the Malabar. Lakshadweep Islands which are close to from the Kerala, from the Malabar coast. We have seen in the earlier part which coast is called the Malabar coast. The group of islands is composed of small coral islands. These islands are the coral islands. What is coral? This term separately I will explain you. These are the coral islands. Maybe the term is given in your book also. Coral means what? Coral polyps are short-lived microscopic organism. The term is explained in your book. Read it and understand. So these are the coral islands. Coral islands means living organisms are formed. These islands. Coral means living organism. These are the walls of the living organisms, and that walls looks like islands. So these are the coral islands. Earlier they were known as Lakdiv, Minicoy and Amandivi. In 1973, these were named as Lakshadweeps. Lakshadweeps. Laksha means 1 lakh. These dweep means islands. These dweeps are considered as a 1 lakh, but now it's are not new. The 1 lakhs are not there. It covers small area of 32 square kilometer. The area is covered by the island is a 32 square kilometer. Kavratti Island is the administrative headquarters of Lakshadweep. The capital of these islands is Kavratti. This island group has a great diversity of flora and fauna. These are very close from the equator and they are far from the human life. That is why it is rich in the flora and fauna diversity. The island group has a great diversity of flora and fauna. The Pitti Island, which is uninhabited, has a bird sanctuary. At the Pitti Island, bird sanctuary is here. So it's a very important part of the country. Now we'll turn toward the next group. This is the Andaman Nicobar Island. The formation of Lakshadweep Island is coral island, but the formation of Andaman Nicobar Island is due to the volcanic eruption. The elongated chain of island located to the Bay of Bengal extending from north to south. From north to south, the extension of these islands, you will look here. They are bigger in size and are more numerous and scattered. Their size is big and in number also they are more. They are scattered. Scattered means not close, away from each other. Scattered. The entire group of island is divided into two broad categories. This is the entire group of island, but it is again divided in two parts, north and the south. The Andaman in the north and the Nicobar in the south. The northern part is called Andaman Island and southern part is called the Nicobar Island. It is believed that these islands are an elevated portion of submarine mountains. How it's are formed? These are the elevated part of the submarine mountains, top of the mountains. Beneath of these islands, mountains are there. This is the upper part, the peaks of the submarine mountains. It is believed here. These island group are of great strategic importance for the country. This helps to make the political strategy for the country. There is a great diversity of flora and fauna. As in the Lakshadweep, this part is also rich in the flora and fauna. These are very close to the equator, so flora and fauna remains rich here. These islands lies close to the equator and experience equatorial climate and having thick forest cover. So all about the Lakshadweep and Andaman Nicobar Island we have studied in this part. And detailed account of the different physiographic units highlights the unique features of each region. Every part we have seen. every part is different from each other. They are contributing to the richness of the country's diversity. They are helping to develop the country. It would, however, be clear that each region complements the other and makes the country richer in the natural resources. Every part contributes to make the country rich in the natural resources. The mountains in the north are helping to provide the forest production. Not only the forest production, forest cover it is. Many rivers are emerged in this part. Turning toward the northern plain. The northern plain is having plain, fertile agricultural land. So it helps to develop the agricultural land. Then turning toward the peninsular plateau. The peninsular plateau is a very rich in the minerals. So whenever industrial raw material is needing, this part is helping. The Western Ghat, Eastern Ghat, coastal plains, the islands, all are complements to each other, and hence they are making the country very rich. Every part is having different but interdependent on each other. That is why the country is very rich in all natural resources. Not only in the natural resources, for the development of country, these all physiographic divisions are helping. In this way, we have studied all about the physiographic divisions and how, in which way they are rich to develop our country. I hope you have understand here. If you have any question,